my eyes shut then. Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to the Crypto with Kash Cast episode number 2. We're still very new at doing this, so bear with us. My name's Duncan Morland. I'm a writer for Market Prospectors and the host for the Crypto with Kash Cast. And I'm joined with Kashaya Abassi, or Kash for short, who writes a fortnightly crypto newsletter called Crypto with Kash, and we also run a community as part of that group. And we've got, first of all, how are you? Hello, Kash, and how are you?
Yeah, I'm all good, thank you. I'm all good. I hope you can hear me clearly.
Yeah.
I've just set up these headphones, and yeah, I think should be better and clearer than last time.
Yeah, your headphones look splendid. Don't worry.
Oh yeah, thank you. They've got noise cancelling on, so it kind of sounds like I'm in the most emptiest room ever right now.
That's good. Yeah, I just kicked my parents out of the house, so yeah, I'm good to go.
Oh yeah, all that.
And we've got, just before we start, if the whole idea of this is to talk about the news and answer people's questions about crypto and stuff. So if you have any questions, feel free to, if you're listening on YouTube, you can stick them in the comments below. And because we're now officially YouTubers and podcasters, we have to say, if you like what you hear and you want to subscribe for more, then that would be great. And if you could click the like button and follow whatever is the podcast version of liking and following, then we'd be very grateful for that too. But anyway, let's get stuck in. We've got 3 topics today. We're going to be talking about Bitcoin hitting all the new all-time highs and what's going on in the crypto markets this week. We're going to be talking about non-fungible tokens, or NFTs, and we're going to be talking about the future of the Crypto with Kash service, and I guess investing in crypto generally, because we had a question from one of our members about that. So first of all, Kash, what has been happening in crypto this week?
Yeah, so this week is just a continuation of what we've seen since around actually the 1st of October, day 1 of quarter 4, the 4th quarter, which is historically very good for Bitcoin and cryptos in general. So since then, we've just been on a huge rally, going all the way to new all-time highs, which we hit the other day. So now we've hit that level and we've fallen back down now, as we always do. We have a retrace, profit taking. People rotate their money into alts at these levels because there's more room for them to grow. Because of how big Bitcoin is, it's going to take a lot more money for them to for it to go a lot higher. So the growth's going to be slow and steady in that regard. Whereas with alts, because they have a smaller market cap, it requires less money. So people are, yes, right now it's retraced back to around 61,000 at the time.
What was the high that Bitcoin hit?
I think it actually hit. It was like a few dollars short of $67,000.
Oh wow! I didn't realize it gone that high.
Yeah. So I only hit that briefly before retracing. But yeah, no, the markets look all good. Even if it falls back down to around $54,000, it will still look good. So like we said, the dips are for buying, and I think the fact that we had that massive crash back in May, and now we've gone all the way back up and even higher, is testament to that, really.
Yeah. And so do you think now is the time where money is moving out of Bitcoin and into the smaller coins? That's happening now, do you see?
As we saw a couple of days ago, like Solana was flying. A couple of the other altcoins were flying as well. Right now, people are rotating money into alts, but at the same time, they're also waiting for a retrace, a further retrace, I think, because where it is positioned right now in the market, there's not much support or resistance. It's just in the middle. It's like in the middle.
Right. Okay.
So it needs to decide whether it's going up or whether it's going down. If it's going down, then it's going to go down to around 54,000, and hopefully that support will hold.
Yeah.
And of course, higher than 65,000, we're going back into price discovery.
Yeah.
Sure. And the next resistance would be around $80,000. I think $80,000 would be the next psychological resistance, and then 85, which is a fib extension level as well.
Okay. Why do you say 80? That's just a number that's
80 because it's a psychological round number. Humans just tend to like round numbers, so
yeah.
that's naturally where a lot of people would set their sell orders or even buy orders.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's where, and of course, because a lot of people know that humans act like this, it kind of becomes like a self-fulfilling prophecy, because then more people will actually try to honor those levels because they think other people are going to, be dealing in those levels as well.
Yeah, I think that's kind of why a lot of technical analysis works as well, because not
Because
necessarily.
enough people believe that it
Yeah,
works, sort of
yeah,
thing.
and
Yeah,
if enough people are using Fibonacci levels, then
exactly.
it's going to be self-reinforcing. And one thing I just wanted to bring up was, so some of the guys in the community, it's hard when the markets are bouncing up and down like this to kind of zoom out a bit, and because you take quite a long-term approach to investing in crypto. I just wondered if you had any advice, like for someone who's maybe new, or someone who's like thick in the weeds watching the 5-minute chart but bounce up and down, and can get a bit overwhelmed, like worrying about trying to time when to sell and things like that. I mean, do you have any broad advice for
Yeah, generally speaking, I feel like the time when most people get involved in the markets is when there's like in a mania phase where everyone's talking about it. And at that point, it's
yeah,
had a significant rally. And that's when everyone buys in and then it crashes. It's what happened in 2017, and maybe even you could say May of earlier this year. Everyone was buying, everyone was saying, oh, Bitcoin's going straight to 100K, for example. But it hit 64K and then it crashed back down to around 30K. I think at one point it even hit 28K. So we had 30K as the support level for Bitcoin at that time, and luckily, as we saw, it held, and since then it's just rallied all the way back up and higher. In regards to like these retracements that we see, I would say that it's definitely important to zoom out, because if you're looking at the minute charts, for example, you could see massive red candles and you're like, oh,
yeah,
it's going all the way to zero. It's time to sell. But then you zoom out to maybe even a 15-minute chart or 1 hour chart, you see it's a tiny little candle. So in the grand scheme of things, even if we do have short-term crashes, as we saw a couple of months ago, long-term, I feel like prices will be much higher, which is what
yeah.
we try to achieve through Crypto with Kash. We're long-time investors.
Yeah, doing the research for those coins. As an anecdotal example, I did buy at the peak in 2018 Bitcoin and Ethereum, and it immediately plummeted and stayed down for years, I think. And now both of those positions are well up, like I think maybe double from what I bought at the time. So like,
Yeah,
and
exactly. So
I guess I
exactly.
just never looked at it. So I don't know that, but I guess that's kind of investor I am.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we move on to the next question, which is one I know very little about. I think it was asked by Mary in the group, in the Crypto with Kash group, and she was basically asking like, how do you get into NFTs and maybe or non-fungible tokens, and maybe we need to start with just a quick explanation of what those are if people haven't seen it in the news first.
Yeah, so NFTs or non-fungible tokens can be used to represent maybe a piece of artwork or music or even a physical object, but on the blockchain. So through that, you can verify that you are the owner of that item. So it could be, for example, a painting. In real life, you would have to get documentation that proves that it's yours. But, of course, as we have seen in the past, these can be very easily fabricated. They
Yeah,
can
yeah,
fakes can be made. Okay. But on the blockchain, there is no faking it. If you are the owner of the blockchain, everyone around the world can verify that you are the owner because you have access to that address. So in that sense, I feel like there's a lot of potential for NFTs. So recently, the NFTs have really taken off because artists are finding have basically found a way to make a lot of money from all their hard work. So for years, artists have been posting their art on, for example, Instagram or other
yeah,
websites,
yeah,
trying to get sellers, but there just haven't been that many people who were interested. But now, through NFTs, they've found that they can make a lot of money very quickly. And I think it's very good because in a way artists are getting paid for their hard work, and at the same time a lot of people have become interested in art, which is I think a very cool aspect of it as well.
So you mean like
Um,
people are selling their digital art through NFTs? Like, whereas, because
yeah,
yeah, for me growing up, like there was sites like, I think it's called like Deviant Art and stuff, where people would basically just share amazing art for free, and you know, like not really have any way to monetize it or sell, you know, sell it properly, because you can just right click, copy it, pay, you know, like it's. But with the NFTs, it's kind of tying it to a unique code to say this is the original digital piece of art, I guess. Is that?
yeah, exactly that. And one thing that actually kind of blew my mind was the idea that, for example, if you are someone who's wealthy and you buy an expensive item to show off, like for example, say a Rolex, only people who can see you in person can actually see the watch on you. Whereas with an NFT, you
Yeah.
could publicly display it and anyone around the world can see it. So it's kind of like NFTs have become especially the more expensive ones, have become like status symbols and as a way that rich people, can show off their wealth.
And people, wish, if for anyone that doesn't know, like there's people are spending like like I'm not wrong in saying people are spending millions on this. What was
Yeah,
the crypto?
yeah. So they're called crypto punks. There's like
Yeah,
10,000
that's it.
randomly generated crypto punks, and each one's worth around. I think the floor on those, so the lowest price for any one of those 10,000 is now around 300,000.
Well, yeah, okay.
So yeah, it's insane, and some of them are selling for 5-6 million.
Yeah, that's crazy. And when you look at them, and I think the most people's response when they first see this stuff is like, what the hell? Like it's just like a little pixelated kind of
Yeah,
cartoon image almost, and they're selling, but I guess they're unique because they're tied to a unique code which was on the blockchain, but they're selling for millions, and I guess there's a novelty
yeah,
factor as
exactly.
well, isn't there? But
Definitely. It's kind of like a whole new sort of paradigm that's been created here. And if you think about it, with NFTs, um, you become part of a community in a sense. So if you're one of those 10,000 people who owns one of those
yeah,
CryptoPunks, you're part of an exclusive club of 10,000 people who have enough money
yeah,
to buy those
yeah,
those NFTs. What the crazy part is that back in 2017, those were selling for around $30. Maybe some were selling for like $300, and
yeah.
now, as we have seen, some are selling for millions.
Um, maybe I kind of got a double-sided question here, because I think one of the things Mary was asking is kind of like, how do you get into investing in this? And I know one of the picks in the Crypto with Kash portfolio gives exposure to NFTs
Hmm.
without actually owning NFTs directly. And I just wondered if you think that's the kind of best way in. And
Well, one thing I'd say is when it comes to owning NFTs, I think a lot of people say, you can right click save the image, but
yeah, that's
at
what
the
I
same
think
time,
for me. Yeah,
if you were to go and see the Mona Lisa and take a photo of it, you don't own that. You don't own the Mona Lisa.
true. Yeah,
Um, but with NFTs, if you own a piece of artwork, there is 100% proof that it's yours, and anyone in the world can verify that, and there's no way anyone can cheat the system.
yeah,
So I think there's a lot of value in that. And just recently, I actually visited an art exhibition by Damien Hirst, and whoever visited got given an NFT.
right. Okay.
So by scanning the NFT and adding it to your wallet, you can prove that you visited that art exhibition. There's just so many different use
Yeah,
cases, and that's just one of them. And I think as time goes on, we're going to discover more. In regards to how to get involved, well, depends on what blockchain you'll be dealing with. The most popular one at the moment is Ethereum blockchains, NFTs. So the first step would be to download MetaMask, and as we have mentioned, I think in the previous episode, the best way to do that would be to go on Twitter, find the MetaMask account, the verified account, because sometimes if you Google MetaMask, there's going to be loads of phishing websites. So go through Twitter, find the official MetaMask account, download the browser extension, set it up, follow the prompts, and then you would have to send Ethereum from whatever exchange you use to the wallet. and then you go on a website called OpenSea. OpenSea is one of the most popular ones. And then you just look for any NFT that you like, and you pay for it with Ethereum, and then it appears in your wallet, and that's forever yours unless you choose to sell it.
So I mean, you're saying the best way, and I guess it sounds quite easy if once you've set up a MetaMask wallet and you connect it to OpenSea.
Yeah,
the website OpenSea is just to give it a go, and maybe because there must be cheap NFTs on there as well,
there's ones for like maybe $1, $2, maybe
sure,
even less, maybe even a fraction of a penny. But you just got to bear in mind that when you are going to buy, you're going to have to pay Ethereum fees. So sometimes that could be $20, $30, sometimes even $80. So a cheaper alternative to that is, for example, buying NFTs on a blockchain called Solana. This process is the same. It's just the wallet is instead of MetaMask, it's called Phantom Wallet. Again, I will download it through Twitter, verified account. Once you set it up, you can buy some Solana, send it to your wallet. Usually the transaction fees would be less than a penny. And then you go on different Solana NFT websites. Popular one is called Solan Art.
Okay.
Solan Art. So you can view the different artworks on there and just pay for it using your Solana. And that's usually a lot cheaper.
Okay,
so
yeah, because the transaction fees are lower, on Solana.
Yeah.
Okay. Just one quick question on the end of that, to go back to what I said before, is you can also gain exposure by buying tokens of crypto projects that are kind of using NFTs, so not directly invest. So video games, projects and stuff like that.
So that's something we've tried to do here at Crypto with Kash. So we saw that NFTs were becoming incredibly popular, and so we found a project where they are dealing with NFTs. They're building a game. They are allowing players actually to own assets inside the game. They can actually buy and sell for profit, and it's really empowering for players. And I think this project has a lot of potential going forward. So we're excited to see what happens with that one there.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so the last question we had was from Kieran, and he was asking about the future of the Crypto with Kash service. Really, like, he said he was very happy, but he was wondering, like, how the longevity of the service. If we're filling up a portfolio of crypto coins, what happens in the future when the portfolio is full. And I guess generally I don't know if I've added this into this question as rather than what Kieran was interested in, but just the long-term scope for crypto investing. Is there a future for it? Or, when you think of, maybe we can get into this, but when you think of investing in the internet, there's been kind of different phases of that, and maybe that's something.
So in response to that, I would say the crypto markets are very fast moving. Everyone knows that. New projects are coming out every single day. So what's popular today may not be that popular tomorrow. And in that sense, the most popular project in 10 years may not even be out today. So in that sense, new projects are being developed. And in that sense, when we find a new blockchain that comes out, and as more developers flock to that new ecosystem, and as, for example, a new blockchain comes out with a new function or a faster way to do something, or an easier way to do something that's easier to use, for example, for the end user, a lot of new developers will start building projects on top of that blockchain. So in that sense, there's a lot of potential for us and a lot of opportunities for us to actually bank on by doing our research and finding the right projects. So I do see that I do see a lot of longevity in this market. So of course, I think what the question was that the screening process that we have at Crypto with Kash, there's only going to be a few projects that actually get through. But I believe that through time, more and more projects will be able to pass the tests that we have. And there's always going to be opportunities going forward.
Yeah, and I guess this is maybe me interjecting, but one of the things I thought is when you look at what's happened with internet companies and investing in, in stocks companies, that's gone through many different phases, like the dot-com boom, then like fintech, and then like I'd say like software as a service companies and all these things. And obviously there's been big companies that have dominated like these different eras, and we kind of have seen a bit of that in crypto already, like obviously with like the early currency cryptos like Bitcoin obviously and things like that. But then you've got the whole DeFi or decentralized finance generation of cryptos that kind of live on Ethereum, so live on one of the older cryptos. Like it's and I kind of wonder like, well, what's the next? You could even say like NFT is another kind of subgenre and like another kind of
absolutely. As I mentioned, new narratives pop up from time to time, and you just have to find through research have to find the most promising and the ones with the highest potential. And interesting thing you can do is actually go on for one of these crypto comparison websites, so CoinGecko or CoinMarketCap, and you can go and view the historical rankings. So you could go back to like 2017 or go back to 2016 or 2013 and actually compare to see which projects are still on there. So top 100 projects today may not be, even some of them might not even be in the top 200 next year. But through research, you could find the ones that are always going to be at the top. So for example, Ethereum, Bitcoin's always been number one. Funnily enough, XRP has actually been top 10 ranking coin for many years, really? Which is why it's also still very popular today.
And that's like, it's quite contentious, isn't it, the XRPs?
Exactly. Now it's I'm not sure if the case has actually been settled yet, but they are being investigated, so we'll see what happens there.
Maybe that was a whole episode on it. Maybe we should do a whole episode on like dodgy crypto projects.
Like back in 2017 there was like loads of ICOs, initial coin offerings, so crowd sales for projects that have never even launched. So there were like promises were this big, and then the product that was actually delivered was like tiny or non-existent.
I just wanted to say as well, like when with the Crypto with Kash portfolio, obviously like you're buying cryptos that you think are going to be around for the long term stuff, but that doesn't mean holding them forever. And like there's already been, I think, 3 cryptos that we've taken a 50% profit from, so sold 50% of the holding. And whenever that happens, when that happens in the future, that will free up space for other cryptos in the portfolio too. So like, the portfolio itself is like ever evolving and kind of profit taking and filling those positions up.
Definitely.
And that is the end of our topics. I think we're trying to keep these episodes relatively short, so they're not horrendous for people to listen to, and hopefully it was helpful. Thank you for your time today, Kash.
Thank you for having me.
And again, if this was helpful for anyone, thank you if you could like or subscribe or follow us if there's an option on the podcast apps you're using, or rate us or whatever. We'd be very grateful. If you have any questions you'd like us to answer in the future, then you can stick them in the comment box if there is one below. And if you want more information on joining the Crypto with Kash community, we'll stick a link below the video or in the podcast description as well. So thank you again, Kash, and thank you again to everyone listening. And we'll talk again next week. Okay, goodbye.
Bye.